As a disclaimer, there will be no Rihanna slander in this video. When I say the hypocrisy of Rihanna, I'm actually talking about you guys. Don't shoot the messenger, please. I really didn't want this to be a talking point for today because everybody's talking about it, but I feel like we gotta talk about it. Rihanna did a photo shoot for British Vogue with ASAP Rocky, who was the father of her child, and their son. It was the first time they came out and did a family photo shoot. The image that was used on the cover faced a lot of criticism because people felt like ASAP Rocky was being emasculated. So there was this big debate on the internet. Some people were saying that the cover was definitely problematic, while others said that people were looking into it too deeply and it was just a picture of a father nurturing his child. Man, I'ma just say this, okay? When I first saw the photo, the first thing that popped into my mind was that something seemed off with the whole power dynamic. So I saw it. If y'all saw it, I saw it too. We saw it together. We on the same page. And at first when I saw people pushing back on those sentiments, I'm like, dang, am I tripping? Have I become more of a conspiracy theorist person? Am I too heavy on the Dr. Umar Johnson type of track? But then I'm like, nah, there was an element of gaslighting going on. Definitely a buzzword. Gaslighting occurs when someone has a valid concern or claim and other people try to minimize those concerns and make the person feel like they're crazy for feeling the way they do. I will say that mostly black men were the ones who commented and said, nah, this ain't cool. This is definitely emasculation. But there were black men and women who were saying, nah, y'all tripping, like you're looking into it too deeply. But from what I've seen, and of course it could be biased based on my social media algorithms, I did see a lot of women expressing those sentiments. So yeah, the gaslighting piece I wasn't really feeling too much, especially because, again, I noticed it, so I think that there had to be something there, right? And it wasn't even the fact that ASAP Rocky was holding their son, because that's what a lot of people commented on. It was the fact that Rihanna was in the forefront. She was bigger in the photo. She's literally looking like she's pulling ASAP Rocky's hand, meaning that she is the leader and he's following after her. And I get that it's Rihanna, but when you think of other celebrity couples doing photo shoots, Beyonce and Jay-Z, I don't feel like they structure the photos in that way. They're standing side by side. It's more of a balanced power dynamic, but I don't know, maybe that's just me. Today's video was actually inspired by a discussion on my community tab. I shared the following meme: 2 babies and no ring. Rihanna is just like y'all. Someone responded and said, never heard y'all say this about Travis Scott baby mama. Most of you probably know that this is Kylie Jenner. Kylie Jenner is famous for being a part of the Kardashian-Jenner family. So her siblings are Kim Kardashian, Khloe Kardashian, Kourtney Kardashian, all those women's, right? She has 2 children by rapper Travis Scott, and they are not married. But the undertone of this discussion is that white women aren't stigmatized for being baby mamas as much as black women are. Ooh, baby. I wonder what you guys think about this in the comments. I personally think it's disingenuous for anyone to say that Rihanna and Kylie Jenner aren't being looked at differently. I don't know if it's just more of a black people thing, like we care more about black people and we don't care what non-melanated women have going on. But I do see that there are some differences. As a sidebar, I know that we talked about the emasculation of men already, but I wanted to point this out because it really bothered me when I saw it in the comments. One of the comments said, when she asked, I'm sure Rocky will say yes. I responded and said, dang, don't do him like that. That's actually kind of emasculating him. And someone responded, facts, my point exactly. She's the alpha in the relationship. She didn't date up, he did. Most men are proud of him because he's securing his future by knocking her up and she's a billionaire. We're secretly proud of him, just like women get when y'all do the same. Sometimes I don't think that we process how twisted this stuff sounds because ASAP Rocky is legit a millionaire. We not about to play with ASAP Rocky like he's just some bum on the street. I understand that Rihanna has significantly more money than he does. She's a billionaire. She has more money than most people. But to sit here and demean his existence as a man and say that he popped out babies for his benefit with her, like he doesn't have his own money, is straight up disrespectful. However, we are actually going to be discussing a comment that was left on that post. Tynesha, you're missing the real point here. Wealthy or rich women refusing to risk their fortune via marriage. This goes back to Oprah. If a woman is significantly richer, she won't do what she would demand a man to do. Trust me, commit. Risk it. Have that conversation, please. Ooh, very valid points that we have to discuss. Women will often say that men who are rich and wealthy should get married even though there's financial risk. And I've said this. I've said this on my live streams. I've said this in videos. Having a partner brings benefit to your life. And I would say that 99% of the time, women do agree with those sentiments. Women are important. A wife is important. And if you don't think that a woman or a wife is important to a man, regardless of how much money he makes, then something is wrong with you. But lo and behold, we see a lot of women on the internet understanding why Rihanna doesn't want to get married, understanding why Oprah never got married. They're trying to protect their money, their assets. They understand that there is risk involved. As always, I try to be as balanced as possible on my channel. I'm often talking about double standards, and to me, this looks to be an example of a double standard. So I want to pause here for a second and talk about hypergamy, because I know this is something that someone will bring up in the comments. The idea that it's in a woman's nature to go for men who have higher status, resources, finances, while it's not really in a man's nature to go after the same in women. Now, I don't think that there's anything wrong with hypergamy per se, but I did find an article that I thought was interesting. This article is from the Institute of Family Studies, and it talked about how hypergamy was intended to benefit women when we didn't have equal access to resources. The only way that women were really able to really eat and make it in life is to marry someone, preferably someone who had a higher status than they did, because that determined what their lifestyle was going to look like since they didn't have anything for themselves. They predicted that with feminism and women being able to work, that hypergamy would actually be on a decline, but they're seeing the opposite. The reality is that we live in a society now where women are able to be millionaires or billionaires like Rihanna, but we're still sticking to these standards of hypergamy that were implemented at a time where women didn't have any money. So going back to Rihanna and ASAP Rocky, it's important to understand that there are not a lot of billionaires out there, and so having this idea that she should only date someone who is a billionaire or has more money than her, that significantly reduces her dating pool. And I think that's important for us to reflect on, just stepping outside of Rihanna. What is the cutoff point for everyone? So if you are a successful woman, let's say you make 6 figures a year, is it bad if a guy makes 80K a year? Are we thinking about it from just the standard of hypergamy, or are we thinking about the overarching thing and how it's going to benefit everyone in the long run? Because at the end of the day, Rihanna and ASAP Rocky collectively have more money than they're ever going to spend in this lifetime. They're going to be able to pass it down to their kids and probably their kids' kids, and it's going to be generational wealth. But it seems like none of that matters because we're fixated on the idea of hypergamy regardless of how much a woman makes. Let me know what you guys think about that in the comments. Listen, I choose to be Switzerland in this situation. I'm not going to tell people who are in a way higher tax bracket than I am whether or not they should be getting married when they seem to be happy in their situation. However, it's like we have people who absolutely don't agree with marriage, and then you have the people who are in full support of marriage, and then you have people who fall in the middle who seem to support marriage and feel like it's a powerful union and we should get married if kids are involved up until a certain tax bracket. I think we will all benefit from taking a long, hard look at how we truly feel about marriage versus the messages or the viewpoints that we're pushing out to other people. Ladies, I feel like we just gotta call a spade a spade. If you're saying that you agree with a woman who is a billionaire like Rihanna, who has everything to lose by marrying someone who is below her because they're a millionaire, then you also have to agree that if you come across a man who is a millionaire, or shoot, maybe even making 6 figures, but you're making like 40 or 50K, he has assets to protect because you guys are on different levels as well. So is he wrong for not wanting to marry you to protect himself? Questions that need answers. Let me know your thoughts in the comments.